All right, time now for a look at today's newspapers with Clément Bonnerogue. Morning to you, Clément.
Good morning.
Beginning with the Brexit backlash in the UK, this over Theresa May's draft withdrawal agreement.
Indeed, a lot has happened over the past 24 hours, and newspapers in Britain are struggling to make sense of all the recent developments. The Guardian sums up the most recent events with its headline, Resignations, a coup and a day of hostility, but May fights on. A lot of papers are actually quite supportive of Theresa May this morning, with many praising her courage and determination. Lonely May staggers on, reads the headline on the front page of The Times. The paper publishes a black and white photo of the Prime Minister, saying she was savaged on Thursday as 4 of her ministers quit over her Brexit plan.
And May vowing to see through her Brexit deal, but she faces an uncertain future.
Indeed, plotters are moving in on the Prime Minister, warns the Eye. Theresa May faces an uphill battle to keep her position. She may now face a leadership contest. Her critics, though, have yet to assemble the 48 signatures needed to trigger a confidence vote. The Financial Times, meanwhile, says May's draft deal threatens a Tory civil war. The proposed accord has heightened divisions in the Conservative Party, and even if May stays in power, it's not clear how she could govern with such a divided majority. Metro seems to agree. Blue on blue reads the headline this morning. The Conservative Party is tearing itself apart over Brexit as it descends into, quote, open warfare.
And yet papers quite critical of those calling for May's removal.
Indeed. Have they lost the plot, asks the Daily Mail on its front page this morning. The paper accuses Brexiteers of failing to offer an alternative to May's plan. In a comment piece on the front page, it contrasts, quote, the calmness and composure of Theresa May with the shrill baying of the peacocking saboteurs. The paper then argues the hard fact is it's either the PM's deal, no deal, or no Brexit. Anyone who thinks otherwise has simply lost the plot. The Independent, finally, which is a rather pro-European newspaper, sums it all pretty neatly with this headline, and they said another referendum would be chaos.
And speaking of chaos, moving on to France, bracing for a day of protest, aren't they, Clément? This over anger about rising fuel prices.
Indeed, the movement has been dubbed the Yellow Vests, this after the safety jackets that its members wear. Communist paper L'Humanité says it's become a new symbol of opposition to President Emmanuel Macron. It all started as a grassroots movement against rising fuel prices, but it's quickly gained traction among angry voters. Many feel that Macron is not listening to their concerns. Road blockades are expected at over 1,000 sites across France tomorrow, and more than 200,000 people say that they will attend the protests. L'Humanité warns the movement will spread like wildfire unless the government backs down on plans to raise taxes on fuel and diesel cars.
And France's government reportedly terrified about this latest wave of discontent.
That's what a lot of papers are saying this morning. Liberal daily L'Opinion says it's because the so-called Yellow Vests are an unidentified social object. It's a spontaneous, apolitical movement made up of small businessmen, truck drivers, as well as workers hostile to Emmanuel Macron's economic policies. And it's also unique in the sense that it's not organised by trade unions. For now, the government says it will not back down on any of its economic policies, but obviously that will depend on how many people take to the streets on Saturday.
All right, well, let's end on a lighter note with a story from Chechnya in southern Russia.
Absolutely. Well, if you've been looking for an incentive to go to the gym, this might be it. Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov gave a 5-year-old boy a $36,000 Mercedes as a gift. You can see it here with the young boy standing next to it. And that's all because he did a whopping 4,105 push-ups. And guess what? The boy did the feat in 2 hours and 25 minutes. So what are you waiting for?
More of a man than I am, Clément. More of a man. He also has a nicer car than I do. I take the subway. All right, that says more than I want about my physical state.